Welcome back. As you learned earlier, sprints, which we also called iterations, provide the whole rhythm for the team and is one of the 5 Scrum events. They allow us to get feedback quicker, encourage team collaboration, and provide more focus for Scrum teams. Within a sprint, the amount of work is planned based on the historical capacity of the team and is made ready for the sprint planning event. It might help to think of each sprint as a mini project with planning, execution, delivery, closing, and a retrospective all wrapped into this bite-sized package. Sprints are so important to Scrum that the other 4 Scrum events revolve around the sprint. The Scrum Guide technically defines 5 events: the sprint itself, sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and the sprint retrospective. Throughout this section of videos, I'll share what the recommended duration or time box is for each of these events. Time boxes are an important concept in Scrum. Some examples of benefits are that they create a sense of urgency, which will drive prioritization, provide a window of focus, which improves productivity, and they help the team develop a predictable rhythm to their work. A sprint's time box can range anywhere from 1 to 4 weeks. How do you choose? Well, there are 3 considerations. First, think about what you expect the frequency of changes to be. How often do you think your requirements might change? If you expect your project to have new requests popping up each week, you may want to make your sprint length 1 week so that you can adapt more often. If the needs are more stable, perhaps longer will be just fine. Second, think about how much focused time your solution developers might need to build a backlog item. If the baseline effort for most of your activities requires at least a week to create something valuable, then your sprint length should be at least 2 weeks to give the team room to execute without feeling the crunch mode. Third, think about how much overhead goes into a delivery of your product. If your deliverable or solution requires a large review with many stakeholders, or goes through a rigorous testing and quality assurance process that takes several days, you should factor that into your sprint length and choose a longer sprint, such as 3 or 4 weeks instead. Like most things in Scrum, there's no one-size-fits-all. And if you set a sprint length and decide it's too long or too short after a few sprints, you can always change it. For example, my current team has sprints that are 1 week long because we expect a lot of change and new requests coming into our backlog every week. But often, our work takes longer than a week to complete. We're currently reflecting on that contradiction and considering changing our sprint length to 2 weeks. Great! Now you know more about defining the sprint. In the next few videos, we'll discuss the relationship between the other Scrum events and the sprint. We'll start with the events leading up to the sprint, conducting sprint planning, and compiling the sprint backlog. Meet you there.